Welcome to a brand new episode of Wrestling with Siblings. I'm your host, Araceli, and this is my co-host, Armando.
Hi guys, I'm Armando. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season.
We know for a fact we did. Merry Christmas to all of you and Happy New Year, of course, ringing in 2019. But enough of that. Let's get into the very last episode of Monday Night Raw. Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match opens up the show.
Keep in mind, this is something new, something we all been wanting to see. And like the McMahons has said, we're in charge now as far as the WWE Universe. And, I mean, what a best way to close off the year on Raw than with the steel cage match.
Change is definitely coming. You can already feel it. You can already tell that it is coming, and I am super excited about this. But let's get into this match. Drew McIntyre has been way more aggressive. There is a new fire that has been ignited into Drew McIntyre, and I absolutely love it because he has been more brutal, more aggressive. Everything about this man's character is absolutely perfect.
Definitely, I have to agree with you on that one. And he's been proving himself the past couple of months, but more recently, these past few weeks, especially against Dolph Ziggler and Finn Balor.
And he's smart, you know. If I remember correctly, this is his first steel cage match, and he did fantastic. He immediately went to attack Dolph Ziggler, who obviously tried to escape the ring immediately, and he did not allow that to happen. He completely dominated this entire match, and somebody like Dolph Ziggler, who's been having fantastic matches over the last year, pretty much, was no match for Drew McIntyre in this
Pretty
occasion.
much, steel cage match is designed to keep people in and for you not to get away. But the way McIntyre utilized the steel cage on Dolph Ziggler was just brutal. I mean, complete dominance, every cornered, every single piece of steel, he used it to their perfection.
And that wore out Dolph Ziggler, and he was able to pick up a victory over Dolph Ziggler. Now, keep in mind, Dolph Ziggler is a veteran. He's been in this business for years, has been doing this for years. Obviously, this isn't his first steel cage match, but what Dolph Ziggler went through in this entire match was absolutely crazy at the hands of Drew McIntyre.
Not only is he more aggressive, but he's also trash talking the opponents. I mean, if we've seen it past couple of weeks, and we saw it today, we saw it on Monday night with Dolph Ziggler.
Exactly. And Drew McIntyre is one of those people, have you said in the last couple of podcasts, that he delivers a Claymore kick super perfect, super efficient. He is super, super quick with it. And that is something that is kind of like the RKO. His opponents don't see it coming.
Yeah, like if you actually go through and analyze the match and you see McIntyre deliver the Claymore kick, it's just so impressive for a guy his size, how quickly he delivers it and at a short range.
Exactly. And I am super impressed with Dolph Ziggler. He, obviously, we saw him endure amounts and amounts of physical punishment during this match, but he also was kind of teasing, kind of taunting Drew McIntyre because he told him, and he was like, "Is that all you got? Is that all you got?" And that made Drew McIntyre even more mad. He went and got steel. He used the steel to his advantage, and he also got a steel chair and used that to his advantage to wear down Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, definitely. And keep in mind the way McIntyre has been for these past couple of weeks, it makes him a solid candidate for winning the Royal Rumble.
Exactly. It really does. I 100% agree with you with that, and I do believe he is a new face of the company. Whether people like it or not, he is a full package. He has the in-ring skills, he has the mic skills, he carries himself well, and his character is so well developed that don't be surprised if this guy is the face of the company within the next year or so.
And what's so impressive is that he is doing what he said he was going to do in the beginning, and that's making a statement and coming to change the locker room, and so far he has done that.
Exactly, and I feel like he could quite possibly be the man to defeat Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship.
Could possibly, but like I said, it all depends on how he does in the Royal Rumble match.
Alright, moving on to Seth Rollins. He basically comes out and he says that life moves too fast for New Year's resolutions. And then he continues to talk, and then he gets interrupted by none other than the Game, Triple H. And he basically tells him, like, where's that Seth Rollins that had fire? Where's that Seth Rollins that would do anything for an opportunity? Where is that Seth Rollins that made me believe in Seth Rollins? Even that when he didn't believe in Seth Rollins would go out and make him believe in Seth Rollins.
Even though Seth Rollins has had one hell of a year, I mean, I'm sure we could all agree with that.
Yeah, of course.
He still hasn't been the same ever since the injury. And what Triple H is referring, and what you're referring to, is that he's not willing to cheat, to use that steel chair to get this intentionally disqualified to get what he wants. You know, he needs that fire with Triple H that, and I mean, we got to see that a little bit of Seth Rollins.
Exactly, and keep in mind that Triple H has been a mentor to Seth Rollins for years, you know, and even when Seth betrayed the Shield to be part of the Authority, he was the mentor behind that. And now he's kind of mentoring him back into what he wants Seth Rollins to be. And we have said it before, Seth Rollins has been out of his game for the last couple of months. And now I think that with Triple H being in charge, it's going to put Seth Rollins back to the Seth Rollins that we used to know before.
He wants to get him with that aggression that he had when he was with the Authority.
Exactly.
And I think that's the type of fire that he wants to bring back on him. Because we know Seth Rollins is talented. And just because of the year he had.
Yeah, nobody can take that from him. And obviously, like, he's been having fantastic matches. Like, nobody is saying he hasn't been good. But I feel like Triple H is going to bring him and his career to a whole nother level and to where it used to be when he was a heel.
Knows how to get under his skin.
Exactly. And again, that comes from him being his mentor over the last couple of years. Let's get into the New Year's Battle Royal. Pretty much a bunch of superstars getting the opportunity yet again.
Yeah, and I mean, me as a fan, I like to see this new superstar, new matches, and especially the outcome of the match.
Exactly.
I mean, I didn't think a certain person was going to win, which was
Apollo
Crews, who ended up winning, and which was very impressive because he ended up getting, I believe, 7 eliminations?
6 to 7 eliminations.
Which is very, very impressive in a battle royal.
One of the things that I forgot to say is that the winner of this match was going to go on to face Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship, and therefore Apollo was the one that became the number 1 contender. But you got to give props to him. I mean, that was somebody you didn't expect to win out of all the superstars, and he did fantastic. I have to agree with you on that. You completely took the words out of my mouth for that one.
And not only that he got a title shot against Dean Ambrose, but this also motivates him for the Royal Rumble, believe it or not.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a boost of confidence. And, I mean, he could possibly win it just because of his performance. I mean, this was a little warm-up, just...
Exactly. And he did get 6 to 7 eliminations. That alone is an advantage for the Royal Rumble, because if you can throw somebody off the top rope, you're already one man closer to winning that Rumble. And we do know that R-Truth is going to be number 30. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. There's really not much to say about the Battle Royal other than the fact that there was an incredible amount of talent. You know, everybody took part of this opportunity, and Apollo was the one that ended up being victorious, therefore becoming the number 1 contender to the Intercontinental Championship to face Dean Ambrose later on that night. Let's get into Elias.
Elias, again, one of the great talents in the Raw roster.
Exactly, and I mean, the reason why he came out was because Baron Corbin was actually eliminated in the Battle Royal, and, you know, he starts talking about how he deserves opportunity and blah, blah, blah. Nobody likes him, you know, so then that's when Elias decides to come out and interrupt them and sings them a song.
And since Elias is always being interrupted, he figured he would interrupt Baron Corbin.
Exactly.
You know, just to get back at him for some of the things he has done to him.
And then, you know, Baron Corbin obviously got really upset, didn't like the idea of what Elias was telling him, so therefore he decides to go after him. But Elias, as talented as he is as an individual, he was able to bounce back, and he was able to not let Baron Corbin take advantage of this opportunity. Alright, let's get into Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, and Bayley versus the Riot Squad. I mean, what could we really say about all these? They're incredibly talented. We've said this before. The Riot Squad is like the Shield of the women's division.
Yeah, and the comparison is, yeah, they're talented, but just the way that they act. You
Exactly.
know, they're causing destruction. They're out there. They go out and they jump wherever they want. And that's kind of how the Shield started at first, if you really think about it.
Exactly. And they were a brotherhood, and now the Riot Squad is a sisterhood. You know, they stick together. We've seen that in countless amounts of matches where we have seen Liv Morgan take a bump for Ruby Riot, or Ruby Riot take a bump for any other part of the Riot Squad members. So, now, keep in mind, they are inseparable. They stay together. But Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, and Bayley have been working incredibly well together. I am extremely impressed with Bayley and Sasha Banks because we do know that their egos can get the best of them, and they're not letting that get in the way of, you know.
Yeah, and it looks to me that they have a focus, and their focus is being part of the women's tag team titles, which was announced a couple weeks ago that they were gonna come out sometime this year, and I think that's their main focus, and I think that's why they're sticking together and working so well, other than their friendship.
Exactly, but do you really see Sasha Banks and Bayley winning the tag team titles, or do we see somebody like the Riot Squad who has shown that they can stick together and they don't let their egos get the best of them?
I see Bayley and Sasha winning it, but at the same time, you know, you can't go wrong with the Riot Squad. I mean,
Don't be surprised.
They've had an incredible year altogether, not just Ruby Riot, but just they've been amazing this year.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that.
And no matter who ends up winning the women's tag team titles, which it's gonna happen sometime this year, if you look at all the tag teams that they have, they're all pretty good.
Exactly.
And whoever wins is gonna do an awesome job.
I 100% agree with that. And let's get into Liv Morgan. I have to say this really, really quickly. I feel like she's completely underrated, and I feel like she is the most improved out of all three members of the Riot Squad. I mean, we've seen Ruby Riot. We've seen she's absolutely incredible. We've seen Sarah Logan's major improvement as well, but I just feel like during this match, Liv Morgan got a lot more time, and therefore she was able to really showcase the amount of talent that she has, and I feel like we haven't really seen that over the last year.
Yeah, and slowly she's been opening up as obviously time has been going. I would really like to see her more in singles competition,
Yes.
and hopefully this year she gets that opportunity.
100%. I agree with that one. Let's move into Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. Again, Bobby Lashley using his power to his advantage. He knows exactly how to do that. He knows how to turn a match around very, very quickly. And we saw a different Seth Rollins in this match. We definitely saw the old Seth Rollins that's filled with adrenaline, that's filled with fire, that knows what he wants. And obviously he was trying to prove something to Triple H and the WWE Universe.
And he shows another face that we haven't seen in a while, and that's that he's really willing to go and do anything to win. And he pretty much proved it in this match.
Exactly, I 100% agree with that.
And I think that's what he was missing for the past couple of months. And if he continue with this attitude, I mean, he could be another possibility of winning the Royal Rumble.
I mean, I already have my picks set up for this year's Royal Rumble.
I have mine too, but if you look at mine, you're going to think, oh, he's crazy. But when I tell you, you can see why it makes sense.
I don't feel like you're crazy. I understand where you're coming from. They might think you're crazy, but, you know, we'll get into our predictions. We'll do them next week. How's that? We'll do that next week for you guys. We'll let you guys know what we think about the Royal Rumble.
We'll let you guys think and let us know in comment below who do you guys think is going to win the Royal Rumble. I mean, yeah, the year just started, but it's around the corner.
It
Next
is.
thing you know, it's going to be Royal Rumble season.
Exactly.
I mean, pretty much is, but...
Yeah, it's at the end of the month, and then after that, you're on the road to WrestleMania officially, so the next couple of months are going to be super crucial. The last couple of weeks are going to be super crucial, but it's going to be very interesting to see. I'm excited to let you guys all know what our predictions are for the 2019 Royal Rumble. Alright, moving on from them, because there really is not much to say about them. I mean, we know they're both talented. We know they can both deliver, and again, Seth Rollins, every single match that he has, delivers 100%.
And something different we got to see was Jinder Mahal and the Sim Brothers in a handicap match versus Rhino and Heath Slater.
And yes, Rhino is back, of course, ever since the McMahons took over Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, he regained back his job.
From the get-go, this match was unfair.
Exactly.
For Rhino and Heath Slater.
But can you really be surprised, though? It's always been that way. But major improvement for Rhino and Heath Slater. They're finally getting the TV time that they deserve. We're finally getting to see more talent that we hadn't seen before.
And again, opportunity. Same thing goes with the Sin Brothers. We haven't seen them in action, and we got a chance to see a little bit of them in the ring this past Monday night.
100% agree with that. Alright, let's move on into the Intercontinental title match. Dean Ambrose versus Apollo Crews again. We said Apollo really showcased his athleticism in the Battle Royal, and he also did that in this match. Like, this match was great. I think Dean Ambrose did a fantastic job putting over somebody like Apollo Crews, and not only that, you can see during the match he was getting frustrated because the wrestling style of Apollo Crews is not something that he's used to.
Yeah, which, on Apollo, keep in mind Apollo also has power, and that's something that Dean kind of is not used to it as well.
Exactly, and he's mad because he wasn't getting his way. We do know that in his matches he tends to kind of dominate with Seth Rollins. He knows him super, super well. He can pretty much do whatever he wants with Seth Rollins. It's like his puppet. But with Apollo Crews, he wasn't able to do that. And I feel like that was very, very crucial in this match. And then he was able to hit the Dirty Deeds to retain his Intercontinental Championship.
But then Apollo also did his homework.
Exactly.
He came prepared and motivated and knew that if he wanted to get a win over Dean Ambrose, he had to stop his offensive, and he pretty much showed that on Monday Night Raw.
Agree with that, and keep in mind that he also wrestled 2 matches in one night. So you can tell for sure Apollo was not 100%, and that was an advantage towards Dean Ambrose, and he definitely tried to take advantage of that. And, Dirty Deeds was obviously the game changer in this situation. Let's get into the main event. The women are killing it. They are main eventing more and more. Women main eventing is becoming the normal part of the show now. I'm super glad.
Definitely. And not only in Raw, but also in SmackDown.
Exactly. Ronda Rousey and Natalya versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Ronda, major improvement over the last year. I feel like she had a fantastic year in 2018, and it's only going to get better from there.
Same thing with Natty. This is a different Natty, and we saw it at TLC. Ever since TLC, she's changed her attitude, and she just wants more, and pretty much wants something lit a fire in her after TLC.
And I feel like part of that fire being lit came from Ruby Riott. And from Ruby Riott getting into her head, and I feel like now she's a lot more prepared, she's a lot more focused, and she knows exactly what she wants, and she knows how to get it. And we do know she had a match with Ronda Rousey last week. Wow. That match stole the show again, the main event. But getting back into this match, Ronda doesn't get as distracted as she normally would in a match now. She's improved dramatically, and her in-ring skills, man, wow. Absolutely incredible. And I feel like having somebody like Natty by her side has really, really helped her, and it's really elevated her career and taken it to a whole new level.
Definitely, you could tell Natty's been working with her, and it's just that experience is rubbing off to Ronda each and every single match.
Exactly. And another thing that helps them out is that they don't let their egos get the best of them. I mean, Natty, obviously, she knows the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. And she knows she's incredibly talented. She knows she's a veteran, and she knows she's a mentor to, the newer generation. And obviously, Ronda Rousey knows she is the baddest woman in the planet. She knows that, but she doesn't let that get to her when she is in the ring. And what can we say about Nia Jax and Tamina?
They're just 2 powerhouses that are intimidating, and Ronda and Natty are not backing down.
Exactly. And, Nia Jax, again, I feel like she's one of those that's improved majorly, and I feel like them partnering her with somebody like Tamina has really helped her out as well, because as we know, Tamina has been in this business for years. She's a veteran. She knows what she's doing, and she's definitely doing a great job carrying Nia Jax on her shoulder. And, Tamina, there's not much to say about her. I pretty much just got into her, and, that's all I have.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen much of her yet. We've seen a little bit here and there when she's teaming up with Nia Jax, but she's gonna be crucial in Nia's
career
career moving forward, because I think that's what Nia Jax needed, someone to fall on back again. And like I said, the women's tag teams are looking pretty solid all around.
Exactly, and if you do notice, there is a lot of possibilities for the tag team championships that are coming this new year. You know, you have somebody like Nia Jax and Tamina, and then you have, you know, the other members of Raw. But that's all I have for you. Is there anything you want to add?
That's all I have for Raw.
Alright, stay tuned because we are dropping the SmackDown episode very, very soon.
Part 2.
Something new on our channel. Part 2 coming soon. Stay tuned. That's all we have for you guys on this episode of Wrestling with Siblings. And for those of you that do not know what Wrestling with Siblings, what WWS stands for, Armando, can you let them know what WWS stands for?
Wrestling with Siblings. Again, thank you guys so much for all the love and support.
And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Become a sibling today. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Wrestling with Siblings. Keep in mind, I didn't say next week. All I said was stay tuned.